Good morning, everyone. I am thankful. I am thankful to Dr. Mayuri and AIS for giving me this opportunity to speak about the role of anti-segment imaging in pseudophakic glaucoma. The pseudophakic glaucoma is a secondary glaucoma in which IOP is elevated following cataract removal, provided no glaucoma prior to cataract removal. Understanding etiology of the pseudophakic glaucoma is crucial for its effective management. Anti-segment imaging provides non-invasive, high-definition, reliable, and repeatable cross-sectional images of the iris, IOL, zonules, and ciliary body. Accuracy and ability to visualize behind the cloudy and opaque cornea is possible with the UBM, and it allows the assessment of the anti-segment pathology and find out the causes of raised IOP. The causes of pseudophakic glaucoma include the IOL-related causes are the haptic induced and the decentered and tilted IOL. Inflammatory causes, the peripheral antisynechia, posterior synechia, haptic induced uveitis and neovascular glaucoma. Lens particle and foreign material causes also raised IOP, that is vitreous in AC lens particle, somaring, ring, silicon oil in the anterior chamber. And others are the aqueous misdirection syndrome, capsular block syndrome, and the UGS syndrome. So first we will take the IOL causes. In this patient, the cornea is opaque, and when we did the UBM, there is a anterior chamber IOL and also the posterior chamber IOL. Both IOL in the same eye, and it causes the edema of the cornea and the raised intraocular pressure. Here the pieces of the haptic of the ACIOL in the angle, and this causes the irritation, inflammation, and raised intraocular pressure. In tilted IOL, there is a misplaced haptics that may irritate the structure and cause inflammation of the angle structure. Here this haptic is in the sulcus, and this is in the bag. And here you can see this is the anti-segment OCT, this is in the bag, and this is the sulcus fixated lenses. And when there is a re-dialing is done, this patient having both the haptics in the bag, and there is we treated the raised intraocular pressure. This is the sulcus IOL, and that causes the irritation and the raised IOP. This is the anterior segment OCT pictures and shows both the haptics in the sulcus. There is a peripheral anterior synechia. There is this IOL pushes the iris forward and causes the peripheral anterior synechia. Here also there is a anterior synechia, and this causes the raised IOP. The sulcus IOL with the pupillary block. Here you can see that there is a pupillary block, and so it causes the raised intraocular pressure. In this patient you can see there is a pupillary blocks and the iris bombi, and there is a peripheral anterior synechia and anterior synechia, and causes the raised intraocular pressure. The uveitic glaucoma, you can see on the gonioscopy there is a inflammation, and there you see the broad peripheral anterior synechia. So this is the broad peripheral anterior synechia. Here is the cyclitic membrane, and it causes the pupillary block, and there is a raised intraocular pressure. In the neovascular glaucoma, when the cornea is very hazy, we can't see anything, then you can see that patient is having the pulling by the pulling mechanism, because the fibrovascular membrane pulls the iris forward, and you can see here there is a pulling of the iris. And even if you see the ciliary body here, it is not seen very clearly, but the ciliary sulcus is absent in cases of this type of glaucoma. No, not in this patient, sorry. There is a hyphema you can see here. In this patient, there is an optic capture, inferior iridodialis, and the vitreous in the AC. But we are not able to see on the slit lamp very well that vitreous in the AC. So when we did this UBM, there is a vitreous in the anterior chamber. It causes the irritation and raised intraocular pressure. The Somering's ring also causes the raised intraocular pressure. You can see this is the Somering's ring pushes the iris forward, ciliary processes and iris forward and causes the synechia formation. So this is the massive Somering's ring and that is extending from the IOL optics to the ciliary processes. And with these ciliary processes were displaced anteriorly and there is a closure of this angle of the anterior chamber. And after Nd:YAG laser photodisruption of this capsule, you can see the Somering's ring moved posteriorly and the layers of ring become loose, and also there is a resolution of the pupillary block and the anterior rotation of the ciliary processes which are rotated anteriorly will go back, and there is a we treat the raised intraocular pressure. There is a silicone oil bubble in the anterior chamber. In this patient, the silicone oil is removed, but still there is a silicone oil in the anterior chamber. So when we did the UBM, the bubble will be in the center and it blocks the pupil and causes the raised intraocular pressure. Even if we do the gonioscopy, then the emulsified silicone oil can also be seen in the angle in this type of patients. In the malignant glaucoma or the aqueous misdirection syndrome, you can see there is the whole iris lens diaphragm pushed forward and there is a flat anterior chamber. So here you can see that is a flat anterior chamber. The neovascular glaucoma misdiagnosed as the malignant glaucoma. This patient, 64 years old, referred to us as diagnosed as the malignant glaucoma following cataract surgery. When patient came to us, the peripheral peripheral anterior chamber is shallow, but in the center the AC is firm. So we did the slit lamp examination, and I saw that there is a ectropion UVI. No new vessels are seen, but ectropion UVI. So we did the UBM. And you can see that by the fibrovascular membrane of the neovascular glaucoma pull this iris forward and it causes the angle closure. And Nd:YAG laser photodisruption of the anterior hyaloid face causes the resolution of the pseudophakic malignant glaucoma. So it is useful to know whether it is malignant glaucoma or the neovascular glaucoma. So the treatment is different of the malignant glaucoma and the neovascular glaucoma. So in malignant glaucoma, you can do the anterior hyaloidectomy. Evaluation in the opaque cornea. Whenever there is a cornea opaque, then we can't see what is the reason for raised IOP. Here you can see that the silicone oil is in the anterior chamber and there are no structures seen behind. So this patient, the cause of rise in intraocular pressure is the silicone oil in the anterior chamber. And in this is a corneal opacity, and when we did the UBM, there is a anterior pulling of the iris, and that is a neovascular glaucoma. When there is a pseudophakic bullous keratopathy with glaucoma, we see that the patient is having an anterior chamber IOL behind the opaque cornea, and so it causes the irritation and there is a raised intraocular pressure. So UBM facilitates accurate diagnosis of the underlying causes of pseudophakic glaucoma by providing high resolution images of the anterior segment. This precision allows the targeted intervention such as repositioning in a malpositioned IOL, removing residual lens material, managing synechia, Nd:YAG capsulotomy and anterior hyaloidectomy in the malignant glaucoma, and thereby improving the patient's outcome. So UBM can detect changes that can't be detected by clinical examination and recommended in all cases of pseudophakic glaucoma for better evaluation of the underlying causes, which helps in subsequent management. Thank you for patiently hearing.
Wow.
Thank you.
We have maybe with time permits, you should tell us the tricks for how you can do such a beautiful movie.
These pictures are our own, all pictures are.
So
Only the scientist segment university is given by my otherwise all pictures are from.
We do a lot of UBM as well as anterior segment, particularly whenever there is a pseudophakic glaucoma. with the fully dilated pupil, it is, of course, you can identify the one haptic in the sulcus and all. But pediatric age group, I have done a lot of work on that. By doing the UVM, you can identify where exactly is the mechanism of which is causing the glaucoma, particularly in children, microphthalmic eyes, the rotation and malformation of ciliary body. Everything is so beautifully visible, but it is not in this particular session. So